sauce. Okay, this is fun. Okay, so welcome everybody to Kudosee Strategic Leadership Video Series. This is a series that is going to help people with their strategy. And that's what Kudosee does. It helps companies succeed by aligning them up with a strategy, getting their strategy all aligned. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm quite excited. So let me introduce to you Amanda Mundo. Did I say that right, Amanda? Mundo or Mundo?
Mundo.
Mundo. Okay, Amanda Mundo. There we go. So let me just, I'll read her bio here quick for everybody that's watching. Amanda Mundo calls herself a former cyborg turned soulful entrepreneur. She worked, man. She worked. Okay, over the past 15 plus years, she climbed that corporate ladder, crushing tasks, crushing projects and assignments, only to be given more work, smaller deadlines, and of course, a lower quality of life. Her family was only rewarded with the leftovers of her 14-hour work weeks, or work days. You guys probably all know what that's all about. So in 2016, she and her husband decided she would become a stay-at-home mom to their 4 children. I love it. And this is when she found the opportunity to start her own business as a virtual administrative assistant. So in 2019, she decided to focus on social media management. This is when she determined that social media was only just a piece of that much larger puzzle when it came to building an online presence, gaining clients, and that overall return on investment. She also recognized that the systems and processes she used to scale and grow her business lacked in the many service-based businesses that she served. Now she provides her clients with, I love this, pie. Who doesn't like pie, right? Pie is purposeful, intuitive, and everlasting. We're going to talk about pie coming up on this broadcast, but for now, Pie program empowers service-based businesses to build strong and everlasting client relationships while giving their business the foundation to scale, grow, and thrive, which is fantastic. So Amanda, I first met you. You were a panelist on an event. I can't remember the name of the event. Do you remember what it was?
Was it Authentic Networkers?
Yes, it was Authentic Networkers. Yes, yes, yes. And sort of loved the idea of pie and everything that you're doing. So let's talk about the social hero brands, because that's sort of your claim to fame in terms of that alignment. And so yeah, I'll give you a moment just to tell us about it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Social hero brands, really, it was born out of experience, I like to say. I started off as a virtual administrative assistant. It was hard for me when I had to become didn't have to, when my husband and I decided together that I'd become a stay-at-home mom. I come from I was an only child, so this world was totally different than I knew. And so I decided, actually my husband gave me the idea because I was just like, what do I do from here? He's like, well, start, do what you know. So I started with being a virtual administrative assistant and helping businesses, right? And then they wanted, the social media. They needed to understand, how can a business thrive on social media? What are the right things to do? And so I really dived into that. But just like you said in my introduction, and thank you so much for bringing me on as well. I meant that at the beginning. I found that social media was just one part of the puzzle. You create this stellar online presence, but is it really creating the revenue that you're looking for in your business? And I noticed that a lot of times I'm getting the most ROI from being on presentations, or partly my social media, but it's because they saw me speaking somewhere.
Like I did.
Or from my clients, right? A lot of times we forget we have this amazing network of people that we've served that enjoyed our services, but how are we also, asking the gift of referrals? Is that happening? And so I found that's what made Pie, right? Purposeful content and messaging, intuitive systems and processes, as well as an everlasting client experience. So as I say, Social Hero Brands was born from my experience of doing what I've done before into now, and it's been a wonderful journey.
Yeah. And Amanda's got a really good website, guys. If you want to go, Social Hero Brand would get you to that website, right? And she's got pie is outlined there. She's got a really cute little blurb about how it was created, which I think you sort of talked about already.
Mhm.
But no, what a great idea, pie. And who doesn't like pie? Like I said, I like pie. But what a great way to remember it too. So talk a little bit more about the purposeful messaging. Like, how did you sort of narrow it down to purposeful messaging?
So I started off giving services to service-based businesses, but I came to find out that most of my clientele ended up being really those business coaches and consultants. And a lot of times what misses in, especially in online presence, is purposeful messaging. I mean, let's think about it. Social media, the most popular comment that I hear about social media is how my clients have a love-hate relationship for it.
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah.
Because we love to, come on when we feel like it, but then, I mean, just imagine the overwhelm of having to be present and show up every single day.
Yes. Yes.
So what I teach is creating a strategy to creating your content ahead of time where it's actually purposeful, because we get to a point, if you don't strategize your content, you just start putting stuff up there.
It's like random. It's
just
random. It's messy. It's yeah.
it's like this and it's like that. And I'm telling you all from experience, I was there. I had to learn it myself. But come to find out, if your messaging is purposeful, if it actually is intentional, you're doing this for a reason, whether it's just for entertainment, whether it's to teach something, whether it's for them to buy something, but every message has an intention, and it's so important to do so. So that's what I teach that's what we provide services on, is creating that purposeful messaging for your business, because you want to differentiate yourself from everybody else. If everyone else is throwing up the same quotes, throwing up the same information, and you're not, seem unique in that, then,
right.
It's hard for people to get to know you.
Right. It's like those little pieces all go along. So every little social media item that you post, it's all related and it's all strategized in the sense of, okay, this is relating to this and this. So it's almost bringing the viewer on a journey.
Yeah, and exactly. And don't get me wrong, like, the spontaneity of it that's where we should have fun. That's where you can just show up. So you already have your roadmap, but if you want to show up and do a live, show up and, do a broadcast of some sorts, do it, but at least you have your roadmap ahead of you. But if you want to jump off and come meet your people in your audience, please do it.
Oh, for sure. And that's just sort of intuition, right? I feel like doing something. And oftentimes when you're inspired internally, I got to go on and talk about this. That's the best time to do it.
It is.
So that leads us to our next one, that the intuitive systems. So you have something on your website with this, purposeful messaging and intuitive systems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So intuitive systems really, and again, you normally serve service-based businesses. So it comes to, like, for instance, a CRM or customer relationship management tool. Do we have that in place? Do we have a tool available? That I started with my business because I was given the wonderful insight and guidance to start with a CRM when I started.
Okay.
I had not one client. I didn't have anything happening yet, but they said, get that established first. Once you have that established and something that can scale and grow with you, you're not backpedaling and trying to figure things out. So even if maybe you do have clients, or maybe you're already in the process, but you're doing everything manually, I understand the headache and the overwhelm with that. So I just help with creating those intuitive systems that work with your business. It's not a cookie cutter thing, Every business works differently.
Yeah.
So find the systems and the tools that work for you.
Nice. And I kind of like that. So, it's almost equated to, you walk down the cereal aisle in a grocery store and there's 20 different cereal boxes. So what makes me grab one over the other? And this, if it's a business we're talking about, it's their purposeful, strategic ideas of what they want to put on social media. It's their intuitive systems of, okay, I can connect A, B, C, and D and then produce a really nice product. But what you do is you allow them, if I'm hearing it right, is to create that product that's specific to them, specific to that brand of cereal. Sorry
Right.
for that analogy. Sorry for that analogy. But
That makes sense.
that's the thing that's come to my mind, right? And so isn't that what everybody wants? I know back to where I work at Kudosee, Kudosee is that. Like, we wanted to formulate a software that worked for the individual rather than the individual trying to conform themselves into the boxes of a software. So that's pretty good. Totally get that. Totally get that. So messaging strategy, system strategy. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, or is that different? Messaging strategy is sort of purposeful messaging. Is that sort of the same thing?
Yeah, so that's the same
Okay.
purposeful content messaging that all goes in the same blob and then or blurb, and then the intuitive systems is one. And then when we get to E, and I don't know if that's what you're referring to, the everlasting client experience.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
I like to call that, and I know we're talking about pie, but I call it the icing, right? I call it like those extras that you add, because that's building that you have everything, you have your core. But how do people feel when they leave working with you, right? So say, or maybe they don't ever leave because they feel so good and they love. Now, I'm more of a project-based business, so I kind of create the things and then send them on their way. We do follow-ups and things. That's great. But I want to leave them with a feeling of an experience so that they'd want to share that with someone else and bring a referral back, right?
Yeah.
So we look at your business and we say, okay, we've got your purposeful messaging down. We've got the systems that you're going to use. Now, how are we going to build upon this experience that people feel so that when you ask for a review or a testimonial or some sort, they're happy to give it and they're happy to refer.
And they're almost, if I'm hearing it right, they're almost ready to say, oh yeah, this is exactly what I felt, or this is, Sometimes people will remember how they felt or how you made them feel more so than even what was said.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's they really, really feel it deeply.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they see that you really do care. You know, we talk about, I really bring into this whole creation your values, your mission, your pillars. What is your business about? Because we want people to take that with them and share it with others. And if they can do that, then you've got referrals coming down the pipeline, and you don't have to even advertise as much or do all of these things that these social media platforms want you to do. No, you could save that money and leverage the clients that you have.
Yeah, because you're going on that level of their values. If their values are congruent with your company values, it's all gonna fly really well. I know on Kudosee, there's definitely, it all starts with, of course, you take that strategic, their values, their mission, their vision, and the strategic goals that have come from that. That is the basis of what starts with Kudosee. And then we take it from there and create your goals and align it all the way down to the operational elements. So the deep roots, you know, the day-to-day goings on that are important for and aggregate up into the culmination of your strategic goals. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So a business is like a machine. Lots of independent moving parts, and we kind of talked about this. So with that purposeful messaging and what was the I again? Intuitive systems and the everlasting. So you kind of, if a business is like a machine with all those moving parts, alignment is really important. So let's talk about pie and alignment. Like, let's discuss the two of them and how they align. Sorry for the pun, but
no, it makes complete sense. I mean, pie, really, that's kind of what the experience was. There was no alignment. If you focus too much on one thing, the other things are going to lack, right? There's much more to be desired. There's so much more of an opportunity for growth. And so that's why, you know, bringing up pie and making that something that will align. So when we talk about probably companies that have employees, right? If your employees and the people who are there working understand your messaging, they understand how your systems work and why they work the way they do for your business. And they understand the experience that you want to convey to every single client that comes through the door, you know, for your business, then that alignment it's going to create such, it's there, and everybody understands it. And not only does the do the employees understand, but the clients understand, and they're like,
Yeah.
everyone's in alignment.
Yes, yes,
From
yes. No, that's so true.
yeah.
If they get the why, and that's why it's so important to almost really hash out that purposeful messaging, like hash out, okay, what is it that we want to do and why is it that we want to do it? You know, what are we really trying to achieve here? So you get that really good why, you get that really good system as to how. Do you know what I mean? Like I know why I want to do it. Now I'm really got the how down pat. And then the everlasting, that's almost the what, like that experience, that that experience that they feel and can say, yeah, the social hero brand has done this for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, yeah.
That is
That's pretty cool.
exactly.
That's pretty cool. They'll come up with your own elevator pitch for you. That's really what you want to do, right? You want to have that customer so in line with if you're in line with their needs and you can satisfy what they need as a company. Their brand is cereal, then yeah, they're going to come up with their own elevator pitch for what social hero brand has done for them, right? I think that's pretty cool. I know with Kudosee and alignment, it comes down to business alignment. Hey, I was going online, and this, I'm just going to quote a little bit here. We've got a little bit of time. We're at 12:16, so we're doing really good. There's the benefits of being strategically aligned. And this I'm reading, this is not my words, guys. This I'm reading from a website called CMOE.com. So quotation marks on, CMOE.com says that if the strategy of an organization is unclear to employees, which we've sort of talked about already, at the operational level, so at the doing level, they may lose faith in the vision, mission, and value proposition of the organization, right? This loss of connection can squelch their morale, their willingness to offer their best in the company, kind of almost like you being that cyborg, that corporate cyborg, just going, and they're like, oh great, she's a producer, let's give her more, which is what you sort of didn't need, right? And ultimately they lost you. So if this loss of connection can squelch their morale and willingness to offer their best to the company, which not only hurts the company culture, but it hurts the bottom line. So ensuring strategic alignment in the organization just sort of cures all of that. So yeah, and this was again from CMOE.com. It was just something I happened to look up on the internet, but want to give due where due is there. You know, not all those words were mine. So yeah, if you can focus energy in the right areas, reduce siloing. I know without alignment, sometimes you get all these little projects going on, but are they really going to produce and align with and aggregate up to that strategic goal? So in your mind, what would be the benefits of having alignment from what you've experienced with social hero brands? Do you have any really cool stories? I don't know if you can talk about any clients, but do you have any real cool stories of that alignment, the benefits of the alignment?
Yeah, I have one example, which isn't a client of mine. This is actually a book that I read years ago, and it's called A Slice of the Pie.
Hey, nice.
I didn't write this book, but it was by a gentleman named Nick Cirillo, and he actually owned a pizza parlor, and forgive me for not remembering where it was. Anyway, this pizza parlor, he really pushed on having his employees know the business, what they stood for. They had pillars, they had value statements, and everyone, he kept the communication, which I think is really important, very transparent, and his employees felt like it was a family. They felt like they had a stake in what was happening every day. And it's not only did they feel that way, they knew that what they did every day there meant something. They had a purpose, right? So he even states in the book, and I'm again trying to derive from memory, but even at the time, the pizza was not like top-notch pizza. It was good, it was decent, but people really came for the culture of his business. He could even say the pizza may have not been, at the time as great as it is now. They were still working on getting better recipes, but people would continue to come back because of how they felt. And they would come from miles away just to be in presence of such high energy. And so that told me right there that no matter what, it's how we make people feel. It's how, we show up and show up in integrity and how they feel. I do have a client. So I do have a client story where this client was a coach, and they didn't really have, they would do everything manually. And they were kind of there on social media, just showing up, really not purposeful in messaging, just showing up to talk about the day. And they really weren't getting any referrals. And we went through the PI program, and by the end of the program that they chose, their messaging was so on point. People knew exactly what they were doing, because at first they just thought they were a motivational speaker. They didn't even know they offered services, that they actually were a coach that offered services. So they're like, oh, we just thought, I just come onto your social and just kind of watch what you talk about, but I didn't know you're offering anything. And then secondly, we were able to create systems. So when she brought that person in and they went through their discovery call, and she was ready to make her sales pitch, and say, hey, this is what I do. What would you like? She was able to efficiently bring them in to her business and get everything done. And then afterwards, she would send them a nice token in the mail appreciating their business. Can I tell you that her business skyrocket? It's skyrocketed. It's gone up, and she now has her clientele is consistent, and she's getting referrals. So nice. People just love having someone who follows through and gives them efficiency. And so that you're investing into something that works.
Very cool. So for her to sort of go from the messy and unorganized to a process that really was very much aligned and organized, how long did that process take for her?
So for her, because it took us about 3 to 4 months to get everything down. Now, this is obviously into the availability of the client, and we're working on a lot of different aspects of it. We focus on one, get that done. We focus on the next thing, get that done. So we probably about 3 months, we had her all, but that doesn't mean she couldn't continue to sell and do what she was doing. We were enhancing things in the background.
Right on. So it wasn't like the whole company had to stop for that quarter. They were still doing, but as they were doing, they were just getting better and better and better and better. That's pretty cool. That's actually a very short-term, like a very good return on investment for a short-term investment. Gives you, and she's still going strong.
It's priceless. Once you can use that process forever.
She truly is, everlasting. That's pretty cool. Yeah, she truly is everlasting. That's nice. That's nice. So we got about 7 minutes here. So I just want to make sure that the listeners or the viewers, whether they're watching live or whether they're going to watch in the future, your website offers many service packages. So tell me a little bit about the service packages that people can, if they want to take on some social hero brand. What are the packages available?
Sure. So I have 4 packages currently available. We have the Petite Pie, which kind of covers all aspects of their business, but in a really shorter amount of time. And that's just somebody who's probably getting started in their foundation, and they just want to see what direction they want to go. It gives you a great outlook. And then we have a slice. A slice focuses on one portion of the pie that, after we've had our discovery call, where we could see that, hey, this person has their systems, they have their, maybe they have somewhat of an experience, but they really need help on the messaging. So that's a slice. Yeah. Or they could choose the messaging, or they could choose the intuitive systems. They could choose either one. So they get like 3 coaching and consulting hours on strategy with either one. Yeah. Then we have Indulge. Where Yeah, Indulge is the most popular package. It focuses on two of the three. So normally it's purposeful messaging and intuitive systems. You know, that's where people are ready to just run and they're like, okay, I really need these two. And then we have the complete 360. That's where we are giving you everything. That's where you're going to get the messaging, you're going to get the systems, and you're going to get, you know, the icing, figuring out how we're going to create that whole experience. And
Nice.
so we have those 4 packages, and if that's something that any viewer wants to look into or learn more about, they can visit the website and just book a call. Book a call, it's
Nice.
a connection
Nice.
call
And
to learn
so
more.
is that socialherobrands.com? Awesome.
Socialherobrands.com.
.com. Awesome. And so when they go to that website, I also know that you have guides and books available.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the guides and the books?
Yeah, we're still building the library, but you know, authenticity is key. We're just getting information and content out there that we can to help people really start utilizing their email lists, their social media, like Instagram properly.
Yeah.
I know there are new things coming out on these platforms all the time. And sometimes we just need, like, it would be nice. I always thought it'd be nice to have something to look in and say, hey, how does this work? Because no one really tells you unless you go
Yes.
on to the Instagram,
Yes.
then you're like trying to figure it out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm currently building this library. There are some paid books that you can purchase, or there's a couple free ones that I have there as well, just to kind of help you on your journey and help you create that foundation on social media or
Yeah.
email.
Oh, yeah. And it's social media is just blossoming. That whole realm, the Twitter, the Facebook, the YouTube, is just blossoming right now because of the current conditions of 2020, 2021. So it's any help is good help. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like it's good that you have that offered. I know with Kudosee, our help in that environment, the way things are now, is so many employees are now working virtually, or what do I don't mean virtually, I mean like at home. So remotely, that's the word I was looking for. So many employees are working remotely, and how do you keep that alignment and that structure and everybody working towards the same goals of the organization when everybody's remote? So Kudosee really helps in that respect too. So just before we go here, it's been a great half hour, and the half hour went really fast. So yeah, it was an honor. But I just want to say again that socialherobrands.com is where you need to go if you want any more information about those service packages and the books available, and Kudosee.com if you want to know anything more about once you have that strategy built, where to put the strategy and how to implement it, how to track it. That's what we do best. So Amanda, thank you so much for joining me here. And this will be recorded because it's Facebook Live, and anybody wants to watch and listen, it's a great thing to do. So thank you again so much. I'm going to just going to press that red button and say goodbye. But thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you for having me.